Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karyne, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome. Who are you? Who am I? Yes. Who are you? I don't know if y'all have ever watched that. Watched Alice in Wonderland, where the cat, she's lost and stuff like that, and the cat, what is it? The caterpillar is asking, "Who are you?" And I've watched a couple of shows and movies, and everybody's always asking, like, who are you? Like, and I feel like a lot of people ask that question to themselves, like, who am I? And I don't know if anybody realized that you are a collection of all of your past thoughts and your experiences, your environment. That's who you are. Like, it's an accumulation of all the things that has created your personality, your upbringing, what has been poured into you. Like, when we are born, we're born with a clear state. We have a conscious, but there's other things that play in the fact of who we end up being, because we are like sponges when we're children. Of course, again, we all have a conscience and a soul, a spirit inside of us. So we won't respond to certain things the same way. Like it's just weird to kind of say, like, I would have to be deep. Well, this is my channel, right? This is my podcast. So as crazy as I want to think, I get to think, because that's who I am. Like, I'm an out of box thinker. Like, sometimes I can be a conspiracy theorist, like, you know what I'm saying? So when I think about who am I, I've gotten people to, say, "Oh, I know you." And the more I've discovered, like, myself and been on a journey to find myself, I've learned I don't know who I am. The more I learn, the more I realize I need more to learn, right? And when I get around people who assume they know who I am, or they, just have this perception of me, I always tell them, you don't know me. You cannot possibly know me when I don't know myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people fool themselves into thinking that they know it all. And I actually had this conversation with someone, and they were like, "Oh, everybody thinks I know it all." And I was like, no, they don't. Because if they're I forgot how I said it, but I was there like, you think you know it all, and everybody is, debating you to that, so they don't think you know it all. So I'm like, it's how you perceive yourself. You think you know it all, and that's why everybody's always, challenging you on the things that you say. And so when people say you a know-it-all, they don't really think you know it all. They think you know it all, right? So it is what do you hear? Like, a lot of things that people say around you can really affect your psyche. Like, it's basically being downloaded into who you are, and your makeup and your DNA and all of that stuff. Is just kind of like, now it's a thought process. Like, if you sit down and meditate, you start to hear all of these things and all of these, perceptions about you, people, and their thought process, and how they want you to be, and, what they think you are, and, and it's not anything It has nothing to do with you. A lot of people project for themselves. Like when we see someone, we're basically mirroring ourselves to that person. What we like or dislike in a person is something that we like or dislike in ourselves. So if we start to look at the people we are around, or the people that we collide with in the street, in passing by, in school, they are not by chance. These are people who we have attracted to us. They are the ones that are on the level of vibration and energy that we are at the time. So we pull them in, like we have our own gravity or magnetic fields around us. So when we're vibrating at a low level or medium level or high level, we attract the people who are vibrating at that same level. It's like magnets. So it's not like opposites attract. The opposites do not attract. I doubt that. It's more of likeness attracts. You attract likeness. So when you find people in your life, if you look at them closely, you'll kind of get a sense of who you are through them. And then you start to look inside yourself and you start to do the work, right? You start to make the connections, and you stop blaming or complaining and bad-mouthing people that have come into your life. Because if you're bad-mouthing these people, you are bad-mouthing yourself. Because again, we attract who we are. I'm going to let that simmer for you for a little second. We attract who we are. At whatever time that we attract them, that's who we are. People who get into that space within us, it's allowed because we're vibrating at that. And then when we start feeling better about ourselves and our vibrations are higher, we're thinking more positive, and then all of a sudden these people just frictions start happening. You start to fight and people just disappear out of your life, and you call it ghost. Like, oh, did that person ghost me? No, that person is no longer in your vibration. They cannot be in the same plane with you because you have ascended to a higher level of vibration and frequency. So you are no longer in that lane. They can't get there. So because they can't get there, of course they'll be angry because they can't get to you. But at the end of the day, they're not there, right? So now you're going to start attracting some other people. But until you are recognizing what's happening with yourself and how you are ascending to yourself, you'll continue to be sad about. Then you start to become sad about the people that have left you, and you're not seeing the positive that you are actually ascending to a higher level. If they start ascending to a higher level, then you'll be able to attract them in that level too. But when you start to bring back that doubt, that sadness, you start to level back down, and then they are able to come back into your circle. But I've recently realized that there's a certain person that I was trying to, kind of make amends with. And, for me, I'm feeling really good about myself. I feel positive. I'm ready to talk. I know who I am. I know who I am at this moment, right? Because we're forever changing. Change is constant. So I kind of reached out, wanted to set a date for us to talk and things like that, and it just kept on being canceled, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna force anything. If I have to force it, I toss it. I don't do that. And I allow the universe and God and my spirit to align, like my guides. I'm like so in tune where I'm just kind of like, if it's being blocked, it's for a reason, right? It's just not at the right time. That person is not probably in the right spirit or soul to receive the message, or it's just not there. Like, I won't be able to connect with that person because I am not in the frequency that person is in, and they are not in mine. If that makes sense to you, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, people always feeling like, oh my God, you do not hear me, you do not understand me, I don't want to see this person, or I can't see this person cannot see you. I like, that is usually you're both on in two different, like, we're not on the same page. That phrase makes sense because it's like, yeah, you're not on the same page, you're not on the same frequency, you're not on the same vibration, playing field. Like, you're just not. There's no way that you can understand a person if you're not on the same floor, right? If you have somebody on the 8th floor and you on the 2nd floor, it's hard to communicate. You either have to get all the way to the 8th floor to communicate, or you're going to have to go all the way to the 2nd floor to communicate. And usually if you're going to the 2nd floor, you are actually going down, okay? And you don't want to do that. You want to inspire people to come up to you and not go down to you. Because the conversations at the 2nd floor is crappy. It's small-minded. It's not about bettering yourself. It's about gossip. It's about that. And the level at 8th, you're hearing growth, business. Like, it's a total different conversation. And you can kind of, like, when you get to know yourself and start developing and seeing things a little bit clearly as you do the work for yourself, you start to see where people are. The more you get to know yourself, the more you understand other people, right? Like, you can see the people who are, mad and bashing other people and stuff like that because they're at a different level. They're not going to understand anything you're saying, any positive things that you say, because they are still unhealed. They are still in this illusion of they're good, but they're not. They're in a dark place, right? So you got to make sure that the universe is not going to allow you to continue to be in the same space as something that is not in the same vibration as you. Just period. Like, the only time you'll be able to do that is if you start to doubt yourself, start to feel bad about yourself, start to feel guilty about the people you've left, and then you become back to where they are, which is going nowhere. And you don't want to do that. Like, what is the point? You help no one if you can't help yourself. And helping yourself doesn't mean you making money. It's just your soul is full. You are in a great full space. You have found grace, right? You are able to connect with yourself, and you can sit with yourself, and you can say to yourself, I don't like how I'm feeling right now. To have that conversation, I don't know if anybody's ever had that conversation where when you're not at your best. Like, a lot of people are like, oh no, they just keep going with the emotions. But it's like, when you have gotten better, like when you have ascended and you felt the joy and the peace, and all of a sudden you just feel like things are out of place. Things are, you don't feel balance within. Like, you feel like you're running in a circle. Breathe. When that happens, breathe and start to look back and start to kind of take your time and get you back to where you need to be. Because when it does that, it introduces sickness. It introduces some type of health problem. And when you are having a disease, you are at dis-ease. You are in dis-ease. You're not in ease anymore, right? So that's what disease is. It's being uncomfortable. Your body is not right, right? There's something not right about it. So when you get to understand all of that, what works for you when you're eating something, what goes what just works for you, because not everybody is the same. Not every regimen is going to work for the same people. Like, you can't just give one pill fits all type thing. It has to be catered to you, and you alone will have to know exactly what you can tolerate and what you can't, right? You don't want to take advice from somebody who can't do much for themselves, right? So you have to start to get to know who you are. Who am I? I am a beautiful Black woman that is enjoying and experiencing life. I have my anxieties. There's things that excite me. There's things that scare me a little bit. But I am still up for learning, for experiencing, for meeting new people, and taking chances. And that is about life. Who am I? I am a curious person. Okay? Call me Curious George up in here. I'm always learning. And it amazes me, all the things that I've thought was scary or too much or I couldn't do, and then I do it, and then I'm like, and then I get to know myself a little bit more. I get to see how strong I am, how smart I am, how resilient I am. I won't know who I am until I am pushed to the limit. Until I could get as far as I can. Like, that is who I am. I am outside of my comfort zone. That's who I am. Everything outside of my comfort zone is who I am. I am not this box. I am not this constraint, this restriction, this limitation. I am not that. I am everything outside of that. And when you start to think about what you can do, how powerful you are, how magical you are, you can do anything. You can look at a problem and say, "Ooh, my God is bigger than that. My God is bigger than all my problems, and God resides in me. Therefore, I am God. I'm created in the image of God, and God resides in me. I am God." So if God is bigger than all my problems, I am bigger than all my problems. And when I sit down and I'm still, and I can understand what is happening, I am that I am. Who are you? I am that I am. Nothing more, nothing less. So if anybody was confused about who you are, know that you are God. If anybody who tells you anything different, I don't understand. Like, if someone says, like, "Oh, it's blasphemy." How is it blasphemy when you say God is within you? When you are weak, God is in you to make you strong. Rest unto Him. Seek His knowledge, and therefore you receive it. God is in you. You are in the image of God. You can breathe life. You can create life. You are God. I would say, don't believe the half truths of God is outside of you. Look up, and you want me to look up, but then God is within me. I should look within. My answers are within because God is living within me. I mean, I can go on and on to make sure, but I feel like if anybody is hearing this, is because you need to hear this. Those who have ears to hear, hear. Those who have eyes to see, see. And those who have a heart to receive, receive this. Okay, as I speak to you, I minister unto myself. Understand that anything is possible if you believe. And the first thing you have to do is believe in yourself. And before you can believe in yourself, you have to know who you are. Okay, so that is my little thing today. So that was actually good. It was really freeing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm becoming more of myself, more of the person that I'm supposed to be. as I continue to speak my mind and speak highly of myself and understand that everything in life has been done for me, for my betterment, for my growth, for the betterment of society in a collective as a whole, right? So if I am hurt, I will be healed, and then I can help, right? So it was like 3 H's. You hurt, you heal, you help. You hurt, you heal, you help. Okay? You hurt, you heal, you help. In that order. Love you. Have a good one. Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karyne, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @HairByKaryne, @ShopBraidAppeal, and @YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.